Welcome, everyone. It's great to have you join us today. In the next few minutes, we'll be taking a deep dive into the Tour Imagination Mekong River Cruise that Diane and I will be hosting on Ama Waterway's beautiful Amadara from November 2nd to November 9th, 2026.
We are so thankful that Terry Rakunik has come to talk to us today all about the Mekong River Cruise. We want to know from the expert what we're going to see and do. And Richard and I, as he mentioned, are hosting this cruise, and so we would love to share this experience with you. So Terry, it's all yours.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Diane. Ama Waterways is so pleased to be joining you on this wonderful, incredible sailing to the Mekong. Of course, this picture is not there, so let's start going. Ama Waterways sails in Europe. Most of our ships will be there, but we do some incredible exotics, and the Mekong River in Vietnam and Cambodia is one of them. So let's talk about the charms of the Mekong. Like you said, she's on board the Amadara, and you guys are starting from Ho Chi Minh City going to Siem Reap in Cambodia. And like you said, November 2nd to 9th of 2026. Now, this is a picture of the Amadera that you'll be on, and just a few pictures of what you can experience. It is really an incredible cruise. I can't say enough about it. Let's start talking about the itinerary, though. You are starting in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, going upstream, upriver, and ending in Siem Reap after the 7 nights there. So let's go through it a little bit at a time. Like I said, you're going to actually board from Ho Chi Minh City. We will all gather. There will be a bus that takes you directly to the ship. And Ho Chi Minh City is a major city. It's a lot of hustle and bustle. I particularly prefer doing the itinerary in this direction upstream, because you start with the hustle and bustle and you end with a beautiful calmness in Cambodia. So a picture again of the Amadara. She actually has 124 guests can be on board her, and she sails as of from the first day you're on board. She will start sailing, so your first full day will actually be in Sabai, and there you're going to go to Sadek. And in Sadek, you're going to have a number of options of excursions. Now, the Mekong River is very wide. It is one of the widest rivers of most of the rivers that we sail. And so we actually, in Vietnam, where it's very wide, we pull some smaller boats. So everybody can get onto in small groups, they can go onto our excursion. So we will stay in the middle, the Amadera will stay in the middle of the river, and then we'll board these small boats right off of our large ship and into one of these other vessels, and they will bring you in. So they bring you to this area where we're going to have some really incredible excursions here. You can see, for example, on the left-hand side, one of our guests, well, actually, that's one of our owners, but one of our guests on this excursion always has the ability to try to make rice paper. So they'll show us how to do it first. So you do some workshops here if you like. Here you can try to make the rice paper, but they also make candy. We go to a rice candy making, which is really incredible. And what I found in this area is that they do everything very old school. We've surpassed them in so many ways, but it's really incredible to see how they do things, those old-fashioned ways, and they're so happy to do them that way. And they taste so fresh and incredible. We'll also take you to a workshop there where you see all these cards and paintings. So there's lots to see and do. There's an active walking tour in the afternoon after the workshops. If you prefer, you can join it if you want. It is to the Kit's house. It is one of the oldest homes there. And it doesn't have a lot of furniture in it. Inside, it's all very dark wood, but it's really interesting to see how somebody who was wealthy in the past would have lived back then. Very incredible. Now, we're also going to take you by some temples, and it's really, in this area, it's a fusion of many religions. So you'll see Buddhism, you'll see Hinduism, you'll see Christianity, you'll see some Islam, and of course, some Confucianism. I'm not sure how they say that, but there's so much here. It's just an intriguing place to really be immersed in their culture. So we'll take you down to Tan Chao as well, and you will visit a local market here, and you will see some fruits and vegetables that some of them I hadn't even heard of. So that's something else that we will bring to your experience. Now, here you're going to be able to have a number of options. So while you're in Vietnam, we are going to take you on what is called a trishaw ride. As you can see here, this is another one of our owners, Gary, who is sitting behind this bike. It is a single bike for a single rider, but we also have numerous transportations along this sailing with many of our excursions. There's an excursion where you can two people can go on an ox cart ride. We have another excursion where there's a bike like this that pulls two people in it. There is a different excursion in Phnom Penh where you get to be in a cart for 2 or 4 people, but it's pulled by a motorbike. So there's just so many incredible experiences that you will go through here. So very unspoiled by tourism in some of these smaller places like this one where you get this trishaw ride. But we'll go by Craftsman Workshop here. Like I say, the markets often, you'll see the fruits and vegetables and the fish. You'll also see a few things marine animal wise mostly, but everything is kept fresh in the market. So there's chickens walking around, and there's little pools full of fish and eels and turtles and frogs, things I don't want to see that they're using them for, but you don't have to eat any of them, so don't worry. Now, after that, there's an optional excursion where you can go into this incredible area called Evergreen Island. It's I think it's called Tri-Sioux Forest, yes, and Sanctuary. It just stunning. So we've added this probably a year ago to our sailings and our excursions because it is incredible, and it is limited to how many people can actually go on this excursion. So it's something you want to sign up for if you are taking this sailing. Now, from that point, you are actually on the river. While you're on the river, you're going to cross over into Cambodia. What's really cool about that is that when you take this direction and you need your Cambodian visa, you actually get it on board. So all of the immigration will sail up in their little boats to our vessel and board our ship. And then everyone gathers in the lounge. It takes about 5 minutes, and they have stamped and prepared all of your passports in advance, and then you get your visa right on board. So it's really handy, and it really doesn't come into your experience and your excursions and take away from anything else. So now that you're in Cambodia, we're going to spend the next day in Phnom Penh. And Phnom Penh is, once you're in Cambodia, it's really incredible. You will see a lot of Buddhists. You will see them everywhere, not just at their temples. You will see them on the side of the streets. You'll see them in the stores. It's just a wonderful experience. And it is a beautiful country with such history, some of it incredible and some of it not so incredible. But once you're in Phnom Penh, we'll take you to the Royal Palace, for example. We'll take you to the Silver Pagoda, the museum there. We'll take you to the Central Market. Again, what I talked about, their Central Market, everything from clothes to watches to fake items to things that you can buy to eat, little stands, and as well their flower market is stunning. So lots for you to see and do here. And in the afternoon of that first day in Phnom Penh, you can actually take in the killing fields as well, that genocide museum. It really incredible history. They talk about it very openly. I mean, they lost an entire generation by someone who was Cambodian, that Khmer. And so they are very peaceful about it and at peace about it. It's very interesting. Really, the killing fields, there's really nothing that you have to see that you might not want to see. That wasn't something I wanted to do, so I went on this, but really it's walking and listening to the stories that they have to tell. And they really did touch every family. So the really cool thing is that your guides, which I'll talk about in a bit, really help you on this, understand what happened and how people dealt with it and how they still have dealt with it. So you'll return to your ship after this, and there will be a beautiful on board children's dance and music. It's just beautiful. And then the following day, when you go to Udong, you are going to have the opportunity to go to a blessing ceremony. You walk up this huge temple and the Buddhists are there. And whether you're Buddhist or not, I have to say, not a Buddhist, but sitting here and having the blessing, and it's just so beautiful. It feels so incredible. It is their belief, and it does feel very special. It's an incredible experience. For me, it was, at least. It's very memorable at their monastery when you do this. Of course, there's walking tours as well as options. This is where you can do the ox cart ride in one of the local villages, but we also take you to an area called Silk Island, where they show you how they weave, and they show you how the silkworm, cocoons and everything, how they color it all by hand. And then I have to say, the year I went, everyone at Christmas got silk. It is so beautiful, and it is very inexpensive, but it's so beautiful. I can't say enough. Everything from tablecloths to scarves, to just anything you can think of, napkins and placemats, just incredible. I don't think there was clothing at this one, but when we were in Vietnam, we would have taken you to another silk excursion, and there you can buy clothes as well. So much to see and do. Here you're also going to go on a tuk-tuk ride, and this is where you are going to go have the opportunity to go see the stilt houses. So it's a very I can't remember how to pronounce this area, Oknahatni, I think, but we go into this very local village where they really do live the way they used to. And so these stilt houses where you walk underneath, and during the excursions, they try to keep you out of the sun as much as possible. So you'll go and you'll have your discussions in the shade under the house, for example, and they will the guide will speak to the homeowner. Sometimes they'll take you up into their house upstairs so you can see how they live. It's all so well made. It's incredible. And then what they do upstairs versus what they do underneath the house, where they prepare things, so they're not in the heat. The banana trees all around them, so they have more shade there. So many things to see and do. Of course, you are on the Amadera for all of this, and you are going to disembark once you hit Siem Reap, which is a beautiful area where you would have probably heard of Angkor Wat and Angkor Thom. And so those opportunities are there after your cruise if you do something later in your cruise, or excuse me, later in your holiday. But let's talk about the Amadara, because like I say, she's a very special ship. All of our exotic ships are a little different than our European ships because we really do want the atmosphere of the area on board. So I will first talk about our excursions and our guides and our crew on board, who are mostly from Vietnam and Cambodia. And I can't say enough about the beauty of these people. In Vietnam, I think they were the friendliest people I'd ever met on any of my travels. In Cambodia, they are definitely the most heartfelt people I have met. Beautiful, beautiful souls. And they are on board to help you in the dining room, in the lounge, upstairs. There's a pool, but our guides are really special in the Mekong because the guides will actually come on board in Vietnam with you. So you have the same guides, they're on board the ship, they're part of your crew while you're on the ship. And then they take you on all those excursions in Vietnam. And then when we get to that crossing to Cambodia, a boat pulls up with Cambodian guides. The Vietnamese guides go back to Vietnam, and the Cambodian guides now stay on with you on the remainder of your sailing and your itinerary in Cambodia. So they're really immersed in your sailing and in your excursions. The Cambodian guides, for example, all of them will have a story about how their family was affected by what happened with the killing fields and the Khmer. So really incredible people. You are truly being immersed in such a different culture. Now, it's a different culture. It is a warm culture. We do have, like I say, the pool on the sun deck. You can see the beauty of the area in the background. And then we do have a lounge on board as well, where people gather after their excursions, sometimes after a shower if it was too warm. And then they gather here for community. It's a great area. You can see that there are no carpets on this ship because of the humidity and heat in the area. So it's really well built for comfort. And so in this lounge area is where we will have entertainment a couple of times through the week. You're going to have, like I say, those local people come on. They're going to do some traditional dancing and traditional costumes. And then even though it is a much different area, when it comes to culinary, you don't have to worry if you don't want to eat anything that's too far out there. I don't like spicy food per se. So what's really interesting about the Mekong is when you walk into the dining room, the main dining room, all of the main entrees will be sitting on a plate and on a table when you walk in, saran wrap, so that you can actually see what each of them are. It explains what's in them. And we have certain American style food like chicken and Caesar salad, fish. So there's always something you can eat. But even in the Asian influence food, not all of it's sometimes just influenced. It is not necessarily anything really local that you might find when you're out and about if you choose to have a meal on the land. So on your own, if you would go to a restaurant or a stand, which is a local, then that is not typically the type of food that we will have on board. But we do have beautiful Asian influence food. Here you see the pho, and I have to say the pho is incredible. And you can make it not spicy or spicy. So that is very good. So just a picture of our main restaurant and some of the food and how it's set up. So very airy. You've got the windows. Everything on board is air conditioned unless you're up on the sun deck, of course, in the pool. And then we also have our specialty dining restaurant, which is also included with fine dining, where they will do a 5-course tasting menu. If you want to know more about the AMA ships or the AMA dining or what's included, if you want to know more about our excursions, please, I know Tour Imagination has a separate recording all about our ships. So please feel free to investigate and do some research there as well. In that main lounge I spoke about, here's just a beautiful picture of some of the entertainment that we saw. It's just so beautiful. We do have a wellness program on board, like all of our European ships do, but it's a little different where they'll do Tai Chi, for example. They'll do a tea ceremony. We all have gyms on all these. I don't think I saw the gym on this ship because there's so much to do and there's so much walking and the walking as much as you want as well. So the excursions here build on each other. So most people will want to do the first excursion offered, and then sometimes the second excursion is one that is on top of that first one. So when the first one is done, you can go on the second one, and sometimes a third one. So if you do a full day of excursions, you don't have necessarily the time to go, and I'm not getting up early enough to go and work out in this gym. But just a view of our twin balcony. The entire ship has twin balconies, which is really nice. So you can go out of the room, close the door so the air conditioning stays on in your room. You can sit there, or you can, if you really want, you can open the French balcony windows. The air conditioning will turn off, but again, no carpet, lots of room, lots of space here. Great area to spread out, lots of closet space and storage space. And of course, we have our luxurious suites as well, which give you a little bit more room on board. So that is our Charms of the Mekong itinerary, and I hope to see you on board with Tour Imagination.
Wow. Thanks, Terry. That is fantastic. And you spoke to some of the culture, the learnings, and storytelling, and I know that will resonate well with our Tour Imagination travel community. We are a curious bunch and love to learn. So Diane and I are absolutely thrilled and excited to join. We do have a few questions that have come up and that we'd like to ask the expert on. And you talked about all the excursions during the tour or the cruise, but can you speak to a little bit about potentially participating in a pre-tour extension, pre or post-tour, what that might entail? And we're going all this distance, and so what options could someone partake in?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked that, because it is a long flight. Typically, depending where you're coming from, I'm coming from central Manitoba, so I went west, and once I got to Vancouver, I boarded a flight. I think it was about 15 hours. So you really want to take and as much as you can once you're there, and everything you do is so diverse. So we do offer a 2-day Ho Chi Minh City tour. So it includes their hotel. It includes full breakfast every day. And the hotel we have you in is a Sofitel. It's a beautiful hotel, and a beautiful breakfast, which I think it was probably the most amazing breakfast I've ever had at a hotel. It is a room full of a buffet, and it is just incredible amounts of food that are fresh and beautiful. So there we will offer an excursion every day for the pre-land as well. And then we will escort you. Of course, we will portage your luggage. Once that land package is done, we'll escort you to the ship. So the other interesting thing is those Vietnamese, tour guides, they're already there with you for your land package, as well as the cruise manager who is with you during your entire cruise. And that cruise manager really is in charge of everything and everyone for that duration. So when he typically, I think we have 3 there right now, all of them male, and they will be doing the pre-land package with them as well. Now, after, when you get to Siem Reap, oh my gosh, I really encourage someone to stay in Siem Reap. We have a 2-night Siem Reap package as well. You can do one or you can do both of these packages. The Siem Reap package, again, we stay in a Sofitel hotel, but it is a resort style hotel. It is the most beautiful smelling resort I've ever been into. When you are not even entered the lobby, and the lobby is huge, you haven't even entered and you smell all the fresh flowers. It is stunning. Beautiful resort, beautiful area. And so in Siem Reap, we have this 2-night package as well, where we offer again, all the same things: your breakfast, your cruise manager, your Cambodian guides will stay with you, but incredible things to see in Siem Reap. So you've got Angkor Wat, you've got Angkor Thom. I think there's 3. I can't remember the last one. And they are really incredible, the history of them and how ancient they are. They're still digging a lot of them up. They're still recreating, finding some of that and putting it back together. Incredible to see. We went and took an excursion where we got up very early in the morning to go to Angkor Wat and see the sunrise over the temples.
Wow.
Magnificent. Now, on top of all that, you can do 2 nights in Ho Chi Minh, 2 nights in Siem Reap, or both. But on top, if you do both, you can actually add 4 more nights, and then we'll take you to Hanoi and Ha Long Bay. Just incredible things to see there as well. And I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to take that out of the way. And you can even do excursions into Bangkok if you like. So those are all things they can talk to Tour Imagination about, and you can get that from AMA Waterways.
Great. How about transfers? Are they included in the tour?
If you do the land, well, even if you don't do the land, if you do the air with us, then your transfers will be included to the ships, but the transfers in between, the transfer to the ship itself from the hotel is included. So if you go in early and you stay at your own hotel, for example, then you just need to get to our hotel at the Sofitel in Ho Chi Minh City, and then the transfer to the ship will be included.
Got it. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Maybe one last question for you here that we have. This time of year, what can travelers expect when it comes to bugs? And is that an issue? You talked of the heat. What about the bugs and the little critters?
That is a good question that I have to admit, I'm not sure I have a full answer to. I haven't traveled at that time of year yet. It's a great time of year to be traveling. I will say I traveled in the rainy season as an employee of AMA Waterways, part of the AMA Waterways family. And we didn't actually even get any rain, but the humidity was really high. When you're traveling, you're going to see much better weather, but I don't remember seeing any bugs whatsoever, to be very honest. There was nothing that we were concerned about. Definitely that might be something that you want to research. And if anybody has more questions on that, for sure, we'll try to find some answers.
Right.
Perfect. Thank
Happy
you
to
so
help.
much, Terry. We are excited to join Emma on this cruise, and we're happy that you could share it with us today. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you for having me.